Hello, my name is Rose Riley, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Washtenaw County. Welcome to our online candidate forum for the August 6th primary election. The League is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that promotes voter education and participation. And we host candidate forums to help voters make informed choices. Now, let's hear from the candidates.
Good evening. My name is Donna Snyder, and I will be moderating the forum this evening. It is my honor to introduce two of the candidates running in the Democratic primary for Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners District 6, Ryan Hunter and Annie Somerville. Candidate Kat Layton was scheduled to participate in the forum, but due to unforeseen circumstances, she was not able to join us. The fourth candidate, Ricky Jefferson, did not respond to numerous invitations to participate in the forum. But thank you, Mr. Hunter and Ms. Somerville, for participating. We're now ready for your opening statement. Mr. Hunter, would you begin, please?
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for having us all here. Nice to be with you and everyone watching. So just to start, I suppose I'll introduce myself and just say, yes, I am Ryan Hunter. And, before we kind of get into all the discussions that we'll have tonight, I'll just share with you that I am deeply proud to be an Ypsilanti native. I'm a Byers baby, born in Byers Hospital, and raised across Washtenaw County. I attended a couple of different schools. I guess going back to one of the earlier parts would be I attended Roberto Clemente, and I'm a proud alumni and graduated from Stone School. So definitely have ties all over. Did some time studying at WCC, where I then transferred to EMU and graduated with a degree in political science and history. So very, very proud of my homegrown upbringing and education. And following all of that, I worked for Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. I was a member of her staff for a couple of years, and then I served on the 21st Century Policing Commission, where I learned many things about our police services. And now I serve on the Ypsilanti Township Board of Trustees. Glad to meet you all, even if it's virtually, and look forward to getting to know you all better as we go. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Ms. Somerville, may we have your opening statement, please?
Yes, hello. Thank you, League of Women Voters, for hosting this forum. My name is Annie Somerville. I'm the current County Commissioner for District 6, which covers the city of Ypsilanti, Ypsilanti Township, and Superior Township. I'm running for re-election because I'm committed to further enhancing human services, improving access to services for our seniors and youth, in addition to increasing housing access for all. This is my cat, Max. He did not RSVP to attend, but he's here tonight. And I'm really excited to continue moving the county forward. Ypsilanti is my chosen home. And I'll just share that my role in county government has really been inspired by my own lived experience. I grew up in situations of extreme poverty in my childhood and dealt with housing insecurity, dealt with situations where I didn't have running water or electricity in my home. And I also watched my mom struggle with substance abuse, and she ultimately died when I was 17 while she was living on the streets. And so the work that I do day to day, both in my role in county government and in my full-time job in the state legislature, is really to help improve people's lives and make sure that people have access to basic services that they need to thrive. And the core to all of that is access to sustainable housing. And I'm really committed to continue further moving the county to invest more deeply in permanent supportive housing, rapid rehousing, in addition to increasing opportunities for pathways to homeownership for people who historically have been left out. It's an honor to serve District 6. I'm looking forward to the rest of the night. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. So the first question is actually for you, Ms. Somerville, and you mentioned housing. What realistic steps can the county take to mitigate the housing shortage?
Yes, thank you for the question. So the housing shortage that we are experiencing right now in Washtenaw County is due to a number of issues. One of them being we've had over somewhere between 500 and 800 units that used to be affordable go offline. So there are a number of local municipalities. I'm happy that when I was on Ypsilanti City Council, I helped move forward a few different projects in the pipeline that will promote more housing access. We have an affordable housing development on Clark Road, half of which is focused on seniors. And we also have Dorsey Estates, which is focused on first-time home buyer home ownership for people who have historically been left out. In my new role at the county level, I've really been focused on stabilizing the housing crisis. So I've been really focused on housing first approaches, which means specifically keeping people either in the housing they're currently in by preventing the eviction, or rapid rehousing, which is a process in getting people turned around very quickly into housing, as well as permanent supportive housing, which is permanent affordable housing with wraparound services for people who suffer from chronic homelessness. So people who have substance abuse issues or mental health or behavioral health issues that have led them to cycle in and out of homelessness. The county, we in the last year and a half have invested millions of dollars into stabilizing the system. And I'm very proud of the work that we've done to increase support for permanent supportive housing, as well as rapid rehousing, especially given the high rate of family homelessness. And I'm also working at the state level to get the state of Michigan to continue investing in permanent supportive housing. 2 years ago in the state budget, I was successful in helping secure $6 million to expand services statewide for permanent supportive housing. Avalon Housing in Washtenaw County was a benefactor of that pot of money that was approved in the state budget. Currently, I'm working at the state level to also advocate on behalf of Washtenaw County to invest 20 million more in permanent supportive housing support, in addition to support to help counties like Washtenaw that have a pretty strong housing system already, but we need to expand our family homelessness response. We lost family shelter in the fall of 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. Mr. Hunter, same question, please. You're muted.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was muted. Just for clarity, would you mind repeating the question?
I wouldn't mind at all. What realistic steps can the county take to mitigate the housing shortage?
Yes, indeed. So, one of the things that, we're really working on in my campaign and things we've talked about is making housing more accessible to folks. Homelessness is an issue. It's a growing issue, and we have to tackle that head on. But what that really means for me is finding ways for us to partner across the entire county, so we can identify, whether it's viable buildings, real estate, and places where we can actually develop housing or allocate resources to building housing sites. Excuse me. I'll tell you, one of the programs that I'm really fascinated by is the Ann Arbor Housing Commission. They have a program which, assess people who have housing vouchers. And I think we need to look at expanding that on a county scale to help people with whether it's, doing a first-time home buyer program or having access into housing by this. Having this voucher gives them access into this program, which will assist with whether it's low-income housing entry or doing that for buying a house for the first time. So those are programs I'd absolutely love to focus on if elected.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. The next question is for you again, Mr. Hunter. 38% of the current community mental health and public safety preservation millage is allocated to the county. Is the county's share being spent appropriately? And if not, what changes should be made?
Yeah, so I'll just say upfront that I would have to look more into that issue. I mean, that's something that I would need more information to answer fully. So I don't want to just bloviate around, saying an answer that I don't, have all the information to answer properly. But I will say that, I think all of our county spending needs to be examined. It needs to be examined thoroughly. I know that, we've had issues with transparency. And one of the things that I'm focused on is bringing more transparency to all county related issues, services, spending, budget, so forth and so on. So I do believe that many county programs are properly funded. I don't want to cast aspersions and say that they're not being funded properly. I have faith in our county programs. And I do believe that money is being put forth properly. However, that being said, I would also be sure that money is being spent accordingly by having a broader transparency program that reveals to us exactly how money is being allocated. So I would need more information.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Ms. Somerville, same question, please.
Yeah, thank you. So currently the county gets 38% for community mental health and 38% for the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office. I'm happy to report that the CMH millage data that's online, as well as the Washtenaw County Sheriff data, will explain some of the narrative around how the dollars are spent that is easier for people to understand. One example is the co-response team that has rolled out in Ypsilanti Township. Another example is all of the community partners that have partnered with community mental health. We know that people have a challenging time trusting systems, especially government and mental health systems. And so we've worked really closely at CMH to make sure that people that are on the ground in the community that look like the folks who need access to services are the ones that are actually working in partnership with CMH to help promote mental health and wellness in Washtenaw County. In addition, some of the dollars, some of the 38% that the sheriff's office has received over the last several years has also been invested in reentry housing through Avalon, which is a permanent supportive housing provider. I'm really excited about the work that Sheriff Clayton has already started with the millage with reentry housing. I think it's really remarkable that we shifted funding away from traditional policing to actually invest in long-term sustainable mechanisms of public safety. And on the mental health side, if you look at the data, a majority of the millage dollars for mental health have actually served the Ypsilanti area. So Superior Township, Ypsilanti City, and Ypsilanti Township. I'm also excited about some of the changes that we've made to the millage going forward to invest more in human-focused initiatives. We changed the ordinance, which is the policy that sets the way that the dollars will be funded in the future. And we took some of what has already happened with CMH and with Washtenaw County Sheriffs, and we said we want to spend more money on community violence interruption to reduce gun violence, especially among youth in Ypsilanti, work that's already being done, which I'm really proud of. But we also want to invest more in permanent supportive housing and rapid rehousing because housing access is public safety. In addition, we have decided going forward that will also, time is up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. Actually, the next question is for you again, Ms. Somerville. Both of you have now mentioned the budget, and the county's four-year budget is approximately $500 million. What experience or education prepares you to oversee county finances of this magnitude? Ms. Somerville?
Yeah, thank you. Well, so in my time prior to serving in county government, I served for 4 years on Ypsilanti City Council, where I went through the budget process on a number of occasions. It's a little bit different at the local level than it was at the county level. One of the things that I did this year to help keep things a little more transparent, we had working sessions on a number of occasions where we really got into the details of board priorities so that the public could actually see what interests we were trying to move forward. We had a whole working session related to budget amendments, related to a number of issues, some human services, some specifically on housing, some on environmental concerns. And so we, in my experience, the best way to both manage the budget and also make sure that knowledge about the budget from the general public is to have as many public meetings as possible. And I believe that we do a decent job at that right now, especially with our working session. There's always room for more. One of the things that I hope we can keep in mind in the future is traveling to the western side of the county, the eastern side of the county to really display that. The really great thing about a 4-year budget is that we can go back at any time and make adjustments, especially as needs in the community shift, or especially if we have something like another COVID-19 pandemic that where we have to really change priorities. The 4-year budget just allows us to really see a deeper scope of the overall goal. Like for example, we're making major investments in the future of the Eastside Community and Rec Center. What you can see for the next 4 years is that we've invested a significant amount of general fund dollars to support that effort. And I think that's a way to both demonstrate to the public that this is a serious thing, but also so that they can clearly identify where that is at, and see that the 9 Board of Commissioners, including county staff, are really invested in that. And so I think having good fiscal responsibility and good transparency means doing things in public, and that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. Mr. Hunter, same question.
Yeah, I've had some experience in this space. I've currently been on the Ypsilanti Township Board of Trustees for just about a year and a half. So, we have the Ypsilanti Township budget that we work with. And we do hold, similar public meetings. So absolutely, believe in that the more transparency, the better. These are tax dollars. These are the people's dollars. I always want to be sure that whenever we're talking about spending, I'm always coming from the perspective of what is best for the public, meaning how do we best responsibly use this money and then make sure that we're saving people as much as possible wherever possible. So I'm always coming from that perspective with every decision I make in terms of budgeting. And then, whether it's taxes, millages, all those sorts of things, I'm always looking at what makes the most sense at the best value. And also, in addition from, my time on Ypsilanti Township Board of Trustees, I've also served just over about three and a half years with the AATA Board of Directors. So definitely had budget oversight and fiduciary input there. Always making sure that the public dollars that we receive are being best used. And the way we do that is by having open meetings, meeting with the public, being unafraid to share what we're doing. And, one of the things I would do if elected, I would be sure that, not only is our budget transparently available to the public, but I would actually go out into the community of where the areas we represent. So again, that's Ypsi City, Ypsi Township, Superior Township, sharing what we're planning to do, getting feedback from the public about what they want, and then applying that to budgetary decisions that we're making. So it wouldn't just be the public having to come to me, coming to the Board of Commissioners. It would be me coming to the community as well.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. And the next question is for you again, Mr. Hunter. The 9 commissioners represent separate districts throughout the county. What is unique about your district?
The Ypsilanti area is very, very unique. We are a very, very diverse community, not just ethnically, racially, but also economically. We have folks that are doing, quite well, but then we have a number of people that are, struggling. So I think that, to put it in a snapshot, I would say that the economic diversity of District 6 is probably the most unique out of the entire county. We have folks that have all sorts of needs. I mean, housing, we've talked about housing. Annie and I have both talked about housing. I mean, housing is an absolute issue. It's a concern. But then also what makes our community very much unique is the fact that I'll refer everyone to take a look at the feasibility study. The city of Ypsi right now is at a poverty level of around 28%. And according to the feasibility study that was put out by U of M, that study says that 30% poverty rate is the threshold number that you want to stay away from, because if you reach that number, your community becomes past the point of no return. So the Ypsilanti community has some very serious concerns to be mindful about. I don't know if other areas are having those same challenges, but certainly we are. I know that the city of Ypsi has a number of budgetary concerns and deficit issues that they're working through. So certainly I think what makes us unique is being mindful with resources, being mindful with funding, and making sure that we're bringing opportunities that will help this community grow and expand. So that if I had to put that in, it's a big conversation, but if I had to kind of boil it down in 90 seconds, that's what I think makes us the most unique. But what makes us unique also, I'll just say, is our people. I think we have an awesome people. I think the people of Ypsi are among the best in the county. I love our folks. We walk from all walks of life and have all sorts of different backgrounds. So I would say the diversity is our diversity is one of our strongest attributes.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Ms. Somerville, same question.
Yeah, thank you so much. District 6 is the one district out of the 9 districts that has we use an opportunity index tool to set county policy. It was something that the board adopted back in 2020. And when you look at the opportunity index tool, District 6 has the highest concentration of low opportunity. When you look at that tool, you can see pockets of deep red, which means low opportunity, and you can see a few pockets of light blue and dark blue, but they're very minimal. And so while we have some really thriving business districts in District 6, we also have some pockets of low opportunity because people don't have, and that means people don't have access to basic services like healthcare, like access to county resources, like access to fresh fruits and vegetables. One of the things that I'm most excited about right now, and that really proves the resilience of District 6, is that there are folks working right now to break ground on the future of the Eastside Community and Rec Center, and that site is going to be a hub for services, both for county support, but also amenities like recreation and arts for community members to gather. We have amazing artists in this community. We have amazing folks in the trades, and I'm really excited to take some of those folks in our community and have them turn those skills and help develop some of the pathways for our youth to decide their path in life, whether it's college or a trade or arts. Ypsilanti is amazing because of all of the local creators. Some of the artwork behind me actually is from local artists, and we have a lot of cool markets. But I also think that we have people that don't have access to even do arts. And so that's some of the things that we're working on at the County Board of Commissioners. And when we're setting the budget, we're putting resources aside for those things because we want kids in Superior Township and in West Willow to have the same opportunities as a kid who maybe lives somewhere else in District 6. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. This is the last question, and Ms. Somerville will start. What specific policy should the county implement to balance climate change and environment issues with the desire for economic development?
Yeah, thank you. So I serve on the Environmental Council, and a number of years ago, before I was on the board, the county adopted the Washtenaw Climate Action Plan. And so those are the things right now that the Environmental Council are working through and making recommendations to the Board of Commissioners. I'm really excited that I was part of the board decision this year to create the Climate Resiliency Office. One of the reasons why I'm most excited about that is because my district in particular is considered a Justice 40 zone under the Biden-Harris administration. And that is identified particularly, when I talked earlier about the low opportunity zone, areas with higher rates of poverty and lack of investment. And so communities, especially like Ypsi City, who have some strains on their budget, have struggled to keep up with infrastructure. And the people that are hardest impacted by lack of investments in our drains, for example, are poorer residents because they don't have the money, the emergency funds, if their basement floods and some of their items get ruined and they need to replace the carpet in their basement or get rid of the smell once the water gets out. And so I've been really focused on making sure that with the Climate Resiliency Office that we've now fully funded and will hopefully be rolling out soon, that we'll be able to focus on areas like Ypsilanti and Superior Township and Ypsi Township, where our climate resiliency officer can help them apply for federal and state grants, because there's a lot of money right now to invest in infrastructure and help us prepare. Specifically with development, I'm really excited about opportunities countywide, especially as we're working with our local partners to build more affordable housing and build new single family housing, making sure that we're using a climate lens, making sure that we're thinking about solar opportunities. I'm thinking about that when I'm thinking about the new Eastside Community and Rec Center. How can we make that a net zero site? There are ways in which we can do some of these really amazing things to move us into the future, especially with the climate crisis, and prepare us for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville. Mr. Hunter, same question.
Yes, indeed. So thank you for that question. I'll say on the onset, I would work with experts to develop a policy that would really implement clean energy, renewable energy with regard to everything that we're building in the county, whether it doesn't matter if it's in District 6 or wherever else. I mean, I want to be sure that we are using the best practices, the best materials, and the best, most renewable energy as indicated by the experts. I am not an expert in this space. I'll be the first one to admit that. But obviously, renewable energy needs to be at the forefront of every decision we're making with regards to building or any type of development. I am not. We talk about a lot about reducing our carbon footprint and making sure that we're leaving the earth cleaner than we inherited it. I'm committed to that. So if I were to be elected and as I work forward, I would really rely on the voices and input of the experts to develop the best, most implementable, if that's even a word. I'll make a new word up if it's not. I would work to develop a policy that really maximizes our potential in that area to be sure that these things are happening and that they are, clean and safe and good for, Mother Earth. Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. And now it's time for your closing statements. We will begin with Mr. Hunter.
Well, I am surprised we don't have more questions. Time flies when we're having fun. But thank you all again for listening to me and giving me an opportunity to speak with you. I'll tell you that I believe very much in listening to experts. I mean, I don't always have the answers, so I'm not. I won't say that I do. But I do believe in the knowledge of experts and those who know better. So where I don't have information, I would always rely, and work very closely with those that do. I care deeply about the direction of our county and the direction of District 6 in particular. I want us to have a bright, vibrant future, not only for ourselves, but for our children and those, in future generations. And right now, we are at a boiling point. Something needs to change, something needs to happen. And I want to be the representative at the county level to be sure to ensure the continuation of our community. You go to my website, ryanforwashtenaw.com. I'll talk to you about the things I'd like to bring for economic development along Michigan Ave, Holmes Road, E-Courts, bringing businesses that bring jobs. We need those jobs so we can help people uplift people. I want to bring housing into the community, whether it's a low income or affordable housing, getting people into first-time home buyers program. I want to work on that. So these are things I really care about that I think will uplift all of us. And of course, fiscal responsibility. You have a right to know how your tax dollars are being used and spent. And I want to be sure you have all that information to you as quickly as possible. And I want to unite all of our community together. We're much, much, much stronger together. So I'm here, I'm from here, and I'll continue to live here, whether I'm elected or not. And I want to continue serving this community. And I do believe in our people and hope to serve. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Ms. Somerville, may we have your closing statement?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you again for taking the time to ask us really important questions. I'm Annie Somerville. I'm happy to currently serve as the County Commissioner for District 6, representing the city of Ypsilanti, Ypsilanti Township, and Superior Township. It's been an honor to work on issues that the community has said are important to them, which is improving human services in Washtenaw County, improving access to housing, investing more in our seniors and youth, investing more in climate resiliency, investing more in economic justice. I'm really proud of the work that I've been able to do, not only in my time as county commissioner, but in my previous 4 years as a member of Ypsilanti City Council and as chief of staff to Senator Jeff Irwin. In the last 6 years, I've helped bring over $60 million back to District 6. And so when we talk about really making changes for this community who has been hardest hit by horrible administrations in Lansing over the last 40 years, I'm really proud of the work that I've been able to do both with elected officials across the county and the community to make major investments in Ypsilanti community schools, make major investments in the future of the Eastside Community and Rec Center, invest almost $9 million in housing and homelessness issues in the last year and a half. When Ypsi businesses were hit really hard last summer, I brought money back to help with small business grants. So I'm really eager to continue doing this work to uplift all of District 6 because we've, historically not been invested in. And so we're doing that work right now, and I hope to continue it. You can learn more about me at voteanniesomerville.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Somerville, and thank you both for participating in this valuable session. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
The League thanks the candidates and volunteers who participated in today's forum and the community members who submitted questions. Please urge others to view our forums. Most importantly, please vote in the August 6th primary election, whether by absentee ballot or in person.